The Durian Heat, bringing big ideas and critical opinions in Southeast Asia.
Hey, good morning. This is Arlene.
Hi, this is Gowri.
And of course, you are with us on the Durian Heat, where we bring you critical news from Southeast Asia. So today we are focusing on Malaysia.
That's right. And of course, end of this month, actually in line with our independence, we also have something else happening, which is the BERSIH 4.0, which we are going to discuss today to see what it's all about and what exactly will be their demands in line with our Independence Day.
And with us today, we have Cindi from the Global BERSIH representative and Siow, Assistant Program Officer for the local BERSIH office. So, hi, both of you. Welcome to the studio.
Hello. Thanks for joining us so early in the morning.
Yeah. Before we start talking about BERSIH, maybe you can share with us what's the difference between BERSIH, the BERSIH Secretariat as well as the Global BERSIH. Is it the same entity or is it different?
No, it's not the same entity. BERSIH Secretariat focuses work more on Malaysia, while Global BERSIH coordinates Malaysians who are overseas. Like they organize their own gathering in different cities all around the world, while we do it here in KL.
Yeah,
so
we carry the same principles and carry the same messages around.
Yeah.
And what's your role especially with Global BERSIH?
Currently, my role is more like liaison, like a bit like a liaison officer. We try to assist city coordinators around the world with any problems they have with organizing their gatherings in their respective cities. So we try to give them as much information as possible, and we try to also try to dispel any sort of rumors that they also receive from their respective cities about the BERSIH 4 gatherings in general. So we do mostly like information and resource sharing.
When Global BERSIH was started?
Global BERSIH actually started
because it's something natural, right? It started in the beginning, in the beginning BERSIH already had this plan that we are going to have branches all over the world.
Actually, Global BERSIH started more out as an impromptu movement from Malaysians.
Very organic.
Yes, it was very organic. It's basically when BERSIH 2 was announced way back in 2011, Malaysians overseas also decided, we should also just join in. And then, suddenly, spontaneously, 30 overseas cities from across the globe have Malaysians wearing yellow banners, placards, saying we are in solidarity with the Malaysians back home who are demanding for clean and fair elections.
Yeah. So talking about BERSIH, right? Because a lot of people, especially people who might not favor BERSIH, see it as a political organization, maybe with some proxy control by the opposition and all. Just to dispel this, maybe you can share with us what exactly is BERSIH, and is it political, or is it, does it carry a certain objective or aim that is universal? Maybe you can share with us.
The first BERSIH rally was organized by political parties, but that was BERSIH. And after that BERSIH 1 rally, BERSIH 2.0 organization was formed. That organization is currently is a coalition of 88 NGOs. So out of all our NGOs, none of them are political parties, though they may have their personal stand as to which side they're on, but technically they're all neutral. That's why once we have a committee member or whatever who join a political party and that person leaves BERSIH.
I see.
Committee, so we are completely neutral.
Oh, okay.
So what it would be the aim or the objectives of setting up BERSIH 2.0?
We are a body focused solely on, not to say solely, but we are mainly on electoral reform.
Okay.
Yeah. And we do voters education, things like that.
And why focus on elections? What's so important about this?
Because election is the root source of parliamentary democracy. It determines who form the government of the day, and the government of the day will implement policies and things like that. So it's the main source of program. It's like the election is the sole things that control our lives in every single aspect.
And we
Yeah.
don't really take elections seriously,
Yeah.
isn't it? I mean, even during election day, I have friends who's like, I'm so lazy. It's just
Yeah.
one vote. It's not. I mean, what can one vote do anyway?
Yeah, that's what a lot of people think. But if everyone thinks that way, no one will go out to vote. And yeah.
But there's also been, of course, different opinions saying that whether it's clean or fair elections or democratic process, it's not like a every 4 or 5 year thing.
True.
It's an ongoing process.
Yeah.
So what is BERSIH's role in making sure that people are reminded constantly on doing their part towards maybe whatever it is that their cause that they are championing for?
We have a lot of voters education campaign going on, and also we lobby MPs for parliamentary reform.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not only like during election we advocate for people to come out and vote on that day, and after that you are done. That's not democracy. It's an ongoing process, like what she said just now. Yeah, and people have to know that they have a constitutional right to vote in a fair election. It's written in the constitution, and let's say in between elections we have things like delineation, which is the drawing of electoral boundaries, and the people have a role to participate in that. If the delineation is unfair, the people have a right to object.
Yeah.
And the right is stated in our constitution.
And prior to BERSIH, I think a lot of people might not realize that they have a right to actually determine like how many people should vote in one constituency.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is one of the contribution of BERSIH, trying to create that sort of awareness. But globally, why BERSIH is also important?
Okay. Global BERSIH is going to play a much more important role now, because we only have just gotten the right to vote overseas.
Oh.
Previously overseas.
When was that?
That was back in 2013.
After BERSIH 3.
Yes, after BERSIH 3.
So they don't have to come back to Malaysia to vote. They can vote via post.
Yes. Previously, overseas voting is sort of like a privilege that only government servants or students or even the army has the right to do. But then after BERSIH 3, the election commission decided to open that to all Malaysians. So Malaysians overseas participated really a lot for the first time in 2013.
And to put matters into perspective, how many Malaysians are residing overseas that will be voting or is eligible to vote?
There would be as many, because there are about 1.5 million Malaysians overseas.
Oh, okay.
So if we want to put those who are eligible to vote, I think I can put it to about 400,000.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yes,
500,000
that's quite a lot.
Malaysians
That's
can
right.
vote.
Yes.
Can change the government.
Yeah, and their vote will actually make a difference. As in, you look at the majority in certain places, the majority is small. Yeah. So imagine if all of them vote, their votes can actually make a difference.
I see.
Yeah.
So that's about the fundamentals of what BERSIH is
Yeah.
all about. So for about this rally, why, when it comes to BERSIH, people tend to, put BERSIH as a organization that likes to do rally. Is that all that you do? It's like, okay, another BERSIH, another rally.
Yeah. A lot of people when they hear the word BERSIH, all they think about is rally.
Yeah.
Not many people know we exist as an organization, and we do background work when we are not chanting on the streets. We do research, like I said, we do research, campaign.
Can you share with us some of the
Some of
non-rally
your activities
research or
that
activities.
you've been working
We
on.
did a road show to create awareness on delineation, which is ongoing in Sarawak now. Yeah, we collect objections from people on unfair delineation.
But to look at the bigger picture, right? I just want to ask, why do you think that it's important for Malaysia to have an organization like BERSIH, apart from the clean and fair elections part?
It's a check and balance thing. Like, we cannot solely have the election commission to regulate our election, so we need a body to check on them, and that's what we are doing.
So are you playing a role that is just that is also beyond like promoting clean and fair elections? Are you also trying to promote certain ideals that is beyond that?
We are trying to promote to the people that they have a civic right civil and we encourage civil participation in many things like during the GE13 we had this Pemantau project where we gather volunteers from civilians as election monitors. Yeah. And we distribute them all around countries.
And globally, do you have any activities besides trying to be the point person for different cities around the world?
We do try to organize forums from time to time in different cities. That also depends on the size of the population, Malaysian population in those areas. But so far we do have some forums organized by global BERSIH coordinators.
What kind of forum would that be?
Mostly to talk about political issues of the day, current issues of the day. Most recently, I think there was a few conducted in Melbourne and Sydney about the 1MDB scandal. So those kind of issues, coordinators from Global BERSIH will be in part of the organizing. Yeah.
Why Malaysian outside of Malaysia are concerned about Malaysia when they, I mean, I don't know, maybe some of them are permanent residents in other countries or students or maybe working part-time and all, but why Malaysia is still very much something that they put close to their heart?
I think because they still believe in a growing, mature, developed Malaysia that isn't, dictated by one political narrative or by one political coalition. They believe that Malaysia can emerge as a mature, growing democracy, and they want to be involved in that process. And they still see that they should, and they also saw that opportunity that they should stand up, because if they don't stand up, if the Malaysians back in KL didn't stand up, then our freedoms, democracy is going to be trampled on.
So at the end of the day, it's about protecting or preserving democracy. I want to go back to the BERSIH rally, which will be happening end of this month. Why BERSIH decided to organize this?
Because this is the right time. That's how we see it. The peoples are literally angry, and this is a point to gather their voice.
Angry of?
Whatever everything that's going on now, the 1MDB issue and all that international scandals, is making us a joke, like in the international eyes.
And I think I want to ask, because we do know that BERSIH, like you're saying, you're responsible for gathering the voices because people are angry. But maybe to be more specific, what exactly are like the points or elements right now that makes people feel like this country isn't really that democratic anymore and that we have to do something about this?
Well, it all started off with the 1MDB thing, and it came to the point where they had to reshuffle the cabinet. And now we have Mahathir coming out to attack Najib on like almost every single day, and our currency is falling, and everything is like literally crumbling down. So this is the right time for us to stand up as Malaysians.
And what is the message that you want to send to the government through this rally?
This is the voice of the people. They are voted by the people.
But I'm sure you have some recommendation.
Yeah, we do have 5 demands. We are demanding for a clean election, for clean government, for the right to dissent following the crackdown under the Sedition Act, and to save our economy and to preserve parliamentary democracy. That's our 5 demands for the rally.
I see.
Yeah.
So about the 1MDB, I mean, why 1MDB? The 1MDB issue is such a significant push for people to want to voice their concern on the street.
On the prima facie level, it seems like BERSIH is irrelevant in this, but there has been allegation that the money has been used to buy GE13, and this is the fact that raises serious concern. As I said just now, election is the root cause of parliamentary democracy. So this is the constitutional right of the people to a fair election, and to buy the election with the people's money is against the principle of natural justice. So this is why we think Malaysians have the right to question how the money is used, and Malaysians have the right to know where their money is going.
In addition, because when this allegation came out in the Wall Street Journal, there was already a special task force investigations team led by the Attorney General to investigate the matter. So while we were waiting for results for that to happen, but then suddenly the AG was removed. Suddenly, most people who are involved in the Public Accounts Committee who were supposed to look into this matter are shuffled into the cabinet. Then they need to resign from their post in the Public Accounts Committee. So this raised serious concern, especially because when all this information is surfacing, we also would like to know the truth into the matter, and it looks like it doesn't seem to be going anywhere.
So what you're asking for is a process of a proper I would say either procedure or a law being taken into action. It's not about trying to prove someone that is guilty before I mean just based on election is allegation, but it's to
demand investigation.
Yeah,
that
so
was our demand in the beginning. We give 1 month for him to respond, or he should take leave, but no response was given.
So. But do you think the BERSIH 4.0 is about regime change?
No, it's not about regime change. We have made it crystal clear from the beginning that BERSIH 4 is not about toppling the government as alleged by the IGP recently. Well,
but there's a lot of even though maybe it's not the motive of BERSIH 2.0 to topple the government, but there's a lot of people who might be riding on BERSIH 4.0, to topple the government.
Yeah,
and how are you going to address this? Because this could be the biggest rally that we have this year, and of course a lot of people with different interests will be riding on BERSIH 4.0 for their own for their own political message.
Yeah, their own agenda, but we can't stop people from joining our rally. We welcome everyone, even if people like Mahathir or Muhyiddin, they want to come. We can't stop them. But we have made it clear our demand is the listed 5. If you have other demands, that's your own agenda. It doesn't fall under us.
I see.
Yeah.
And I think apart from the fact that everyone coming together, while looking at the cabinet reshuffling that happened, if our Prime Minister can actually just sack out ministers and AG and replace them, how confident are you that BERSIH 4.0 will actually have an effect when it seems like the Prime Minister just he can pretty much do things his way if he wants to, and nothing can get in his way?
Well, we don't expect change like overnight. Like we have rally today, the next day the government is out of Putrajaya. That's not what we are expecting, but on a smaller scale, it's undeniable that small changes do take place after our rallies. Like, for example, after the last BERSIH rally, we had the highest voter turnout in the history of Malaysia. Yeah, and we had the introduction of the indelible ink, even though the indelibleness was strongly in doubt, but it's something that was introduced. Yeah, and besides that, we do have changes. Like after BERSIH 2, we had the introduction of PSC, Parliamentary Select Committee, and yeah, that's why we don't. we're trying to educate the people that.
So what you're trying
going down to the street, there will be a change the next day. That's not what.
So what you're basically doing right now? You're creating small ripples of structural change, but rally is just probably just one of it.
Yeah, one of the medium to do it.
Yeah, and I want to add more about the kind of change that you guys are doing right now. So after BERSIH 4.0, are you guys going to hold any more either forums or rally or whatever that is relatable?
Yeah, if the government is not taking our advice or our demands, there will be a BERSIH 5, 6, 7, 8, and we will continue to do what we are doing right now, which is like educational workshops, roadshows, campaigns, things like that. Everything will continue. It won't stop at BERSIH 4.
I see.
That's for sure.
So what are you guys doing to prepare towards BERSIH 4.0? Because I'm sure there will be either hijacking, political hijacking, or there will be some violence happening. You never know.
Violence is, we do condemn violence. We strongly condemn violence, as this is a peaceful protest, and for hijacking wise, that's unpreventable, right? Political parties, they will be giving speeches and things like that. What we have been doing is that we have been engaging with many parties to mobilize their own crowd, and we are trying to get people to look after the security problem, because we are doing it overnight this time, so security might be a concern at night during the period of time where
you're staying overnight, right?
Staying overnight. So we expect that not many people will stay at the night. They might go back at night and come back the next day. So
unless there's a football match nearby.
Probably, yeah, that's an Asian thing.
I doubt that, Gowri. Right?
Well,
So
maybe we should do a screening, then people will
yeah,
say.
we'll have programs like throughout the whole night. We'll have charamas, workshops, screening, things like that. So that's the period where we need people the most. The security problem.
Have you guys been engaging with authorities on this?
Yeah.
Can you share with us more? What have you done so far?
We have sent in a letter to the police, and we are engaging with DBKL. But
what's the reaction or feedback?
Well, it came on the news yesterday that no to Dataran Merdeka, no to Padang Merbau, and they are suggesting Stadium Bukit Jalil. But who does a rally in the stadium? It's too confined, and they are saying that BERSIH is only expecting a crowd of about 100,000, which is clearly not true, as during the BERSIH 3 we had about 250,000, which is double of their expectation.
I see. Yeah. What about the global BERSIH? Did you feel that did you face any harassment or any limitation?
So far, the only thing we face is so far it's all right. Everything is all right. It's just there's a bit of reluctance sometimes when some associations are aligned with the current ruling powers. So but it's okay. I think what we have faced so far is I think the city coordinators, some of them find it difficult to abide by the laws of their own country. Like, for example, some of our city coordinators in China are trying to be as creative as possible in terms of how they gather, because
you can't even protest in China.
Yes, freedom of assembly is a problem in China. So, but they are.
And the same thing with Singapore, right? Because the last time a small Malaysian BERSIH crowd was protesting, they were actually nabbed. Because you can't have more than 5 people, or even 2 people in Singapore.
I think I can clarify some of that because the BERSIH Singapore, the initial one went well because they applied for police permit. They were allowed to gather at Hong Lim Park. That was the only place where they are allowed to gather. I think what happened after that was that when there was an impromptu gathering, some people just said, let's just go and gather at somewhere near the Merlion. They were arrested because it was impromptu and they did not notify the police. So what we advise is that as long as you abide by the laws and in your respective countries, go ahead. And if you need any supporting letter or anything, we will try to provide that, because we have announced global BERSIH.
How many cities that will be involving with this global BERSIH movement?
As of today, I can confidently say 39 cities, but definitely as time goes on to August 29, more and more will come forward.
Anyway, we'll take one short break. When we return, we'll discuss more on BERSIH 4.0.
The Durian Heat, bringing big ideas and critical opinions in Southeast Asia.
Hey, this is Arlene.
Hi, this is Gowri.
You're back with us again, of course, and also with Cindi Lu and Siow from BERSIH. And my first, my question about global BERSIH, I want to know why the impression that we have is there's not many Malays globally joining the global BERSIH.
Okay.
Why is that so?
Well, first of all, I cannot deny that there's such an impression. But we do have some students who are interested in organizing the gathering. But they are not our the front.
So it's not like
conflict.
non-Muslim or non-Malays versus Malays.
No, there's no such thing. It's just that
There are some Malays
There
wanting
are.
to join, but
some of them are scholarship holders,
I
so they
see.
are afraid of repercussions from authorities if they do like show their face in the front. So but they have been some of them have been contributing and be part of the organizing committee. I mean, we do have city coordinators around the world, but
you don't have any Malay city coordinators.
We do actually
You
have,
do.
we do have some Malay city coordinators,
Okay.
but most of them, but city coordinators usually have their own organizing team to handle, logistics of their own respective gatherings, and that's when you see a lot more contributions from Malays. So we have not, but of course when moving forward, we do wish to have more of them coming forward as our city coordinators.
So essentially, BERSIH is a Malaysian movement.
There is a Malaysian.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
And yeah, I wanna just to also clarify when people think of BERSIH and rallies, although that's not the only thing that you guys do, is it actually legal for people to gather in such big numbers and protest against something that they're not happy about?
Yeah, the freedom of assembly is guaranteed under Article 10 of our Federal Constitution, and under the PAA Section 9(1), we were required to give a 10 days notice to the relevant authorities, and Section 9(5) says that if you don't follow 9(1), there will be a sanction. But in the case of Nick Nazmi, when he organized the Black 505 rally, the Section 9(5) was ruled as unconstitutional. So it may be a civic duty to notify the relevant authorities that you are having a rally, but it's not a criminal offense even if you don't provide a notification.
I see.
Yeah.
Just to clarify, PAA is Public Assembly Act.
Oh, yeah.
Thank
Some
you.
people didn't catch that.
So for those who are actually going for the rally, or let's just say the ones who are not going to be in KL, how can
Like
they?
in Penang, right?
Yeah, like in Penang, for example. So how can they do their part in showing their support for BERSIH?
Well, if you can't make it on that day to the relevant points, which is Kuala Lumpur, Kuching and Kota Kinabalu, you can help to promote the rally. So you might bring awareness to those who don't know about it. They might be at KL or Kuching or Kota Kinabalu at that time. So what you can do is that we are having a yellow rice campaign where you hang yellow cloth or ribbon on your car, on your gate, on tree, in public and things like that. So
I
we just
see.
flood public places with the yellowness.
I see.
Yeah.
And
Kind of nice.
it
Yeah.
is.
When you see like ribbons on trees, like out
Yeah.
of sudden you see a yellow ribbon there. So that's part of the campaign.
I see.
So that's BERSIH's fault if you suddenly see a lot of
yellow stuff
yellow
going
things
around.
around. And what about people who are actually going to be there? I'm sure you have certain guidelines maybe as to what to bring, what not to bring, or
We strongly discourage children
okay.
because if they start shooting tear gas and all, it would be difficult to run.
So you are
with them.
expecting some kind of chaos happening.
Well, from the previous rallies, it's undeniable
Uh-huh.
that tear gas has been used, the
Right.
FIU has been used.
Right.
So
Yeah.
in prevention of that, we can't prevent them from like doing what they've been doing, and there's been police violence and things like that.
Yeah.
So to protect children, we strongly discourage children to come.
I see.
Yeah, and people should bring, since it's an overnight rally, we encourage people to bring food, drinking water. But you will be able to buy those on the spot. There will be a lot of people selling it. It's like a festival.
Right.
Probably a carnival
Yeah.
leading towards
Yeah.
Merdeka Day.
yes. Like during the previous rallies, there are people selling burgers, kebab, things like that. Yeah, we encourage people to bring food, water. Don't bring too much cash. Yeah, bring your IC, bring toothpaste, salt, wet towels, things like that.
I see.
Yeah.
So it's like
And sport
having a
shoes.
picnic
Yeah,
Sort of.
in KL.
yeah, and don't wear heels in case
Don't
you need to
wear
run.
So
Okay.
don't follow the advice of Jurassic World.
That's
wearing
right.
heels
Not
in the middle of the
everyone
jungle.
can run in heels.
Anyway, I want you guys just to dispel some of the myth that is circulating all over the net about people discouraging other people to go to BERSIH 4.0 for various reasons. But just to enlighten us, like, why do you think BERSIH 4.0 is something that is I guess, pushing forward democracy, if that's what.
Well, like as per the quote, there may be times where you are powerless to prevent injustice, but there should never be a time where you fail to protest. If you don't do anything at all, like on the basis that we have had BERSIH 2, 3 and the government hasn't changed yet, why should we go for BERSIH 4? It's a long process. It won't happen overnight. So if you don't do anything at all, you just sit at home and complain, be a cyber warrior and things like that. The government might take the acquiescence as silent support. Yeah, so that's the thing. So just go out on the streets, let your voice be heard. Yeah.
And you want to add more on that?
Well, I think that what we are focusing on is the 5 demands that BERSIH has been championing, because ultimately institutional reform comes forward more than this so-called cry for one person to resign. Because ultimately, if the institutions or if the system does not put in any new ways, reform, anybody who takes over, regardless of whether it's BN or Pakatan Rakyat, well, if it still
exists,
we'll see the same abuse again and again and again. Yeah.
So what you guys are focusing is structural reforms or systemic reform. You are not talking about the removal of one person from office, or even the change of different from one political party to another political party or coalition in this case. But how can people really make a change like that when this kind of change actually takes very long term? A very long time. At least for the immediate change, what can people do?
Immediate change,
as in like things that they can change. They can see result like now or maybe in the coming few days. What can they do besides joining BERSIH 4.0? I guess.
Now. Well, it's a long process, but if you're talking about long-term wise, it's not a short-term thing. We had the delineation awareness thing going on because under our constitution, the voters within the constituency, they have the right to object, and the election commission is required to carry out a public inquiry. And after that public inquiry, they are supposed to put up a new map, new boundaries, the new implementation and new changes. And after that, even if people are still not satisfied, you can gather 100 voters from that single constituency and object again. They have to make the changes.
So you're focusing more on redrawing the boundaries.
That is a determining factor as to whether election is fair. It's not solely on I go out to vote and that on that day I've done my civic duty. That's it.
So, any last message before we end the show?
Our 5 gathering points, do take note. It's on Central Market, Masjid Negara, Sogo, Brickfield and Dataran Maybank. And from all these points, we're going to march to Dataran Merdeka. And it's an overnight thing, so be prepared. Bring your food, bring your water.
And what time is that?
We're going to start on 2 p.m. on the 29th of August and ends on the 11:59 p.m. on the 30th.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a 34 hours thing in total.
So you're not going into Independence Day. 11:59.
Yep.
It's like exactly
on that point.
Okay, BERSIH is end. Let's go and celebrate Merdeka.
But is there a significance there as well? Since the very next day is our Independence Day, but then the day before, people are protesting and voicing out their discontent.
No, not really. It's one day before, and it's the significance of it. We might have an independent country. We might have achieved our independence, but we need the independence of mind as well. Like following the Sedition Act crackdown and the suspension on the age. These are not independence. We need a real independence, not just on paper. Our country is independent. So
but it has to show in the actions as well.
It has to be like on a bigger scale.
It's like total independence. So there you go. But if they want to have more information leading towards the BERSIH 4.0, perhaps you can share some.
You can go to our official Facebook page, BERSIH, with the official thing at the side.
I
So
see.
because
what
when you put
what
in
thing at the side?
the BERSIH, the official bracket at the
I
side,
see.
because if you type in BERSIH on Facebook, there will be a lot of
Okay.
Yeah.
things coming out. Yeah. The
So-
official one, we have the official stamp.
So that's
Okay.
where you update
that's
people
where we
on all
put
the latest
everything.
information.
Yeah.
And what about the global BERSIH?
Global BERSIH, you can just go to facebook.com/global BERSIH,
Mhm.
or if you want more information, you can also just email us at contact@globalbersih.org.
And you have a website, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
www.globalbersih.org.
And for the secretariat?
BERSIH.org.
I see.
Yeah.
So there you go. If you are in Sydney, will you be having one, right?
Yes, definitely.
You know, you go to globalbersih.org to find more information. That's all from us today. Thank you very much for coming to Durian ASEAN.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Invitation.